Sada imam zadovoljstvo da vam predstavim dragog gosta iz dalekog Amsterdama. On je prošle godine doleteo da bi se upoznao sa vama, a ove godine je tu ipak virtualno. Da sa nama podeli zašto digitalna transformacija zavisi baš od nas, ljudi. Predstavljam Wilfrieda Paroubeka koji radi kao Global Partner Executive za Microsoft Learning. Sada ćemo prijeći na engleski da bi nas i Wilfried razume. So there is no better person that I know of to speak about Microsoft technologies today. He's been driving change in the IT world for approximately 20 years. His leadership skills and partner-oriented approach motivates us to be one of the top partners in the LLPA. Maybe we're a small country, but we run head-to-head with the big players. And Wilfried, we promise that we will continue to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, Wilfried Paroubek is a person that breathes and lives Microsoft, and I would like to invite him to blow some digital magic to you. Wilfried, ready to roll?
Thank you very much, Svetlana, for your introduction. And just double check, do you hear me? And do you see the presentation?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear and we see your presentation.
Perfect, then it's time to start. Like Svetlana said, my name is Wilfried Paroubek. I am the partner sales executive for the LLPA, and part of the LLPA is Semos Education, one of the leading members within that organization. I'm located in Amsterdam, working from home due to the pandemic, so it's currently cloudy and rainy, so no sunshine, so let me make a little bit of sunshine in this presentation. But before I start, I would like to share with you a video of Peter Hinsen. And the video summarizes very well the motions we are currently in and gives a great perspective on what happens today, tomorrow, and even the day after tomorrow. So I will roll now the video.
Do you feel that the world around you is changing faster than ever before, and that the rate of change is actually accelerating? Do you believe that the number of unknown unknowns is increasing? Well, you're not wrong. The pace of change today is exponential, and large organizations are struggling to find and spot new and radical ideas quickly, and seem unable to move fast enough to develop their potential. In the 20th century, size was power, but today, in this age of urgency, being big seems to be a disadvantage. Success means focusing not just on tomorrow, but on what the day after tomorrow will bring. We are arriving in a moment where a cocktail of new technologies are advancing the speed of change. This is a Wright brothers moment where key innovations can trigger a cascade of changes that transforms the world. These technologies are the engines of our future. Cloud computing is the new normal, where the smallest startup now has access to computing power at a scale that was previously only available to giant corporations or superpowers. Data is the new oil, and artificial intelligence will become so prevalent it truly becomes the new electricity. Internet of Things, machine learning, digital manufacturing are rapidly ushering in the fourth industrial revolution. New network-based logic, like blockchain, will have an impact far beyond cryptocurrency, creating a more secure, robust, and decentralized Internet of Trust. Augmented and virtual reality are changing the way we interact, bringing experiences to customers to an entirely new level. And if quantum computing lives up to its promise, the leap in processing power alone will drive breakthroughs that we can't even begin to imagine. This is the age of urgency and innovation fueled by technology, and you have to be prepared. You have to reinvent yourself. There are so many tools, ideas, platforms, and people just waiting to be connected. If you are willing to learn, unlearn, and take radical new directions, you will find your day after tomorrow.
It is the age of urgency. It is important not only to look what will happen tomorrow, but what will happen the day after tomorrow. And with the current pandemic, things did even accelerate more. I can imagine that you're challenged on what will happen tomorrow, the weeks ahead, and thinking, how can I leverage new technologies which impacts my business and will give me the competitive angle to become ahead of the curve? The objective for my session today is to give you a deeper and hopefully another perspective on digital transformation, that it's a motion about people. How your people need continuous learning, training, and getting new skills to keep up with the pace of technology, and how today's technology can become a competitive advantage to your organization tomorrow. So let's go back a few years and explore the digital revolution we are currently in. For example, the usage of smartphones as primary device to access the internet changed our lives dramatically and actually manages our life from our hand palms. The world is literally one fingertip away. This brings a massive effort and investment on cybersecurity, data protection, compliance, but it gives also a great opportunity for traditional organizations and new startups. The connected world generates massive amounts of data, which creates new requirements to be protected and to be used. Leaders in every management team, in every organization, must think and rethink daily on their strategy. How can we leverage the new technologies to secure prosperity of the organization and secure that we will be successful in the future? Your customers are actually expecting that from you as a leader, continuous innovation, so they can benefit, the customer can benefit of its advantages and making life easier, more comfortable, and more supportive. Let's go back to the living room actually of today. It looks totally different than a few years back. Houses are becoming intelligent. Products are becoming smart. The digital era is here. Imagine the pandemic happened 10, 15 years ago, let's say in the early ages of smartphones or even before. It would have even been more severe impact on the economy and the well-being of people. Working from home would have been so more difficult than today, like I'm doing the presentation out of Amsterdam for you. Not only communication is part of the digitization of our lives, but many products are managing our day-to-day life on a smarter way. The smart color of your dog, or a smart coffee machine making my coffee to get up earlier this morning for doing this presentation. Almost every product has the potential to have a smart solution, and with that, every company is a software company. Product innovation, process optimization, employee well-being, it all forces us to start thinking and operating like a digital company and explore services and create opportunities which are facilitated by the intelligent cloud and can drive your competitive edge, can drive your success. The great thing of the intelligent cloud is that it's based on shared services. New technologies and the cost of digital transformation did decline dramatically over the years and made it affordable for not only the big corporate organizations, but also for small and mid-sized organizations and startups. The intelligent cloud makes it possible that every organization can have access to the new transformative technologies for a bargain. The cost of digitization of your organization is only a fraction as it was 10, 15 years ago. Technologies did democratize and makes it easier accessible for you. Artificial intelligence, the new oil, Internet of Things, etc., are in reach for every organization, for every new innovative idea, so also for you in your transformation to a digital company. The call to action is clear. Our CEO, Satya Nadella, is calling this motion I just described as tech intensity. Every organization needs to have a more tech-intense business model. Every organization needs to be a fast adopter of digital technology to stay or get ahead of the curve. To do so, every organization needs to build their own digital/technical capabilities. Et voila! Here you realize that digital transformation is all about people. People in your leadership team, people in your IT departments, people in your business development teams, people at your technology partners, enabling you and your organization to achieve more. Trust in the vision, trust in your organization, and trust in the right skill sets is the critical component of making your organization more tech intense and be ready for the day after tomorrow. But the question arises, what does a more tech intense organization look like? That is the journey you are currently pursuing, the journey of digital transformation. This journey, the digital transformation journey, has 4 inroads. Let me go through them. The first one is empowering employees. Help employees achieve more by creating a work environment that fuels productivity while remaining flexible and secure. An example is Microsoft Viva, a platform which was launched a month ago, contains 3 key components in empowering employees. And that especially in a more remote economy as we are in today. Those 3 components are communication, learning, and well-being. That's the first one, empower employees. The second one is engage customers. Use technology to interact with customers in new ways, ranging from personalized digital experience such as targeted offers and specific personal recommendations to more efficient and effective customer service. Think about bots, tracking tools, etc. But even to bring it home today, last weekend on my kitchen counter, due to the lockdown, restaurants are closed. A 5-star chef cook gave me via Teams instructions on how to cook his 4-course menu by myself. That's a way of engaging customers. The third one is optimize operations. Accelerate the responsiveness of business by improving service levels and reducing costs. Also here, I want to bring it home. As shops are still closed in Amsterdam and the Netherlands, I ordered last week via an online store some clothes. Unfortunately, the shipment went wrong. The customer service phone line was cut off, and they advised via their website to contact them via WhatsApp. I still need to get a response 6 days after the fact. I can tell you they should have joined this webinar about digital transformation, and they lost 1 customer, at least me. So that's the third one, optimize operations. And then the last one, transforming products. Differentiate and capture emerging opportunities by using data as a strategic asset and shifting from hindsight to foresight. Just think about companies who are evolving their business models. An example, here in the Netherlands, a former physical video rental chain moved to a streaming service of movies and series. And that's a prime example of digitally transformed products and services like Netflix, Uber, etc., etc. These 4 inroads, empower employees, engage customers, optimize operations, transform products, are the key components for the digital transformation. However, to start a journey, you need to set clear goals. You need to create a vision and determine desired outcomes. First, ask yourself, why transform? Make an assessment on why you need to start the journey. Are it business challenges, or do you see business opportunities? Once defined, you can go to the next phase. What kind of transformation discussion do you want to have? Driven by the inroads I described on the previous slide, or discussions driven by the specific technology areas, like the intelligent cloud, modern workplace, business applications, which includes the powerful Power Platform solution. And then the how. That is the critical question, and actually the next slide will show you the connection of these 5 steps you see on the right side of this slide. And you will see how central the role of building digital skills and capabilities are. Digital transformation is an ongoing process where feedback loops are essential and critical. The learnings gathered throughout the process will influence the design journey again, which then feedbacks again to the vision. The vision is a more dynamic vision, continuously fed by innovation and new technologies. Like, for example, in the video you saw before, think about blockchain or quantum technology. Or otherwise, by the feedback of the data obtained, which is, as you heard, the newer oil and can refuel your vision engine. This visual shows you an ongoing journey, the journey of exploration of digital transformation. Let's focus now on the learning aspect of this journey. The journey of digital transformation results in a more tech-intense organization, which requires new skills in your organization. And here, one of the key success factors of a successful digital transformation journey comes into play. In many companies, training is perceived as a burden, as a cost. However, training is the critical component, and every organization needs to evaluate their current learning culture to encourage training. Learning and training is a must-have investment. And I hope after today's webinar, you have one key takeaway, that IT training is an investment as part of the digital transformation journey. IT training is an investment as part of the digital transformation journey. To make IT training an investment rather than a cost means you should enable or accelerate a learning culture in your organization. Give your colleagues, give your direct reports the ability and the time to learn. Encourage this and help your folks to get out of their comfort zone. Encourage them to have an open mindset to new technologies and learn, continue learn. And with all the learnings, they can support you in your journey called digital transformation. By continuous learning, you are becoming more competitive. And that is what I call a great investment. Empower your team to achieve more. That is learning about. By taking the time and invest to understand in depth the unlimited possibilities of the Microsoft Cloud for your organization. Microsoft Cloud doesn't only contain Microsoft Azure. Azure is the fundament. Actually, Microsoft offers a comprehensive portfolio of technology to support every organization across their business needs. Microsoft is the only company that has a full tech stack to support both tech adoption and tech capability building. Of course, this includes our software as a service applications, which includes also our productivity tools with Microsoft 365, but also LinkedIn and Microsoft Dynamics 365. This also includes our platform as a service solutions like GitHub, and I mentioned this before, Power Platform. And of course, at the infrastructure as a service layer, Azure is the platform that supports all of our technology. Important, with a foundation of integrated identity, security, management, and compliance offerings spanning every part of the cloud solutions to protect your intellectual property. But keep in mind, while technology is important, it is really about how the technology allows you to achieve more, and therefore learning and training is one of the key success factors which increases your success. Digital transformation is about people. So, how to skin this cat? You will hear more about it during this seminar. But from my personal perspective and my personal view, it is 3 steps to take, which makes your investment in skills, your investment in training, a more beneficial one. First, start work on creating a learning culture in your organization. Encourage people to learn. Make it part of each job role. Make it even a commitment. For example, here at Microsoft, we have learning days. 3 weeks ago, we had 2 days where we need to cancel our regular meetings and spend time on learning. Don't force the topic as a manager. Let your employees investigate it and pursue their own desired topics they want to learn. Important is to give them the time. Secondly, once you have created your draft vision of your digital transformation journey and start to design that journey, it's time to create skills plans. Provide skills plans not only for your technical staff, but as important, also for your other teams like sales, marketing, business development, etc., etc. They as well need to understand the concept of digital transformation from a business perspective. All those learnings are aligned, obviously, to the journey you started or are about to start. Semos, as a proud member and the only training organization of the leading Learning Partners Association in Serbia, is able to support you in defining these skills plans. They have subject matter experts on this and have the experience to get you the biggest bang for the buck. Thirdly, and last, execute the skills plan. And my personal recommendation is clearly to get trained via an instructor-led training and set clear certification goals. The reason for instructor-led training? Pretty simple. A trainer can identify potential skills gap on individual students better. A trainer is a motivator, is the coach for your team, their students. Whereas with self-study, it will be significantly harder to get the desired return on investment. And research has proven this. And why certification as the end station of each training? Because you want to measure your return on investment. You want to know that your team has the right skill sets to successfully implement the company's journey, and it validates actually the skills of the students. With that, you provide every team member the best fundamentals and you empower them to achieve more. Actually, with such focus on making learning and training as part of the daily routine in your organization, and with the right mindset, growth mindset, you will create from your IT professionals and from your other cloud-skilled teams the change agents of your organization. They will be your guardian angel for your digital transformation journey. Actually, remember the first slide. They will help you to answer the question what the future holds for you and your organization, and helps to create the vision and execute the vision for the day after tomorrow. I can imagine that you now think, oh boy, this will be a hell of a journey. Where to start? What to do? And that is why I want to end this session with a quote of our CEO, Satya Nadella. Take things step by step, get buy-in, but be determined and demonstrate tenacity. Digital transformation isn't about technology, isn't all about technology. Digital transformation is for sure about culture by learning, culture by listening, by leveraging the work of others in your team to let your folks pursue their passion and achieve your mutual dreams. Remember, in this age of digital transformation, it's all about people. Therefore, investment in people is needed. And then everything is possible. Thank you for your attention. From Amsterdam, I want to give it back to Serbia, understand if there are any other questions. Svetlana, Semos team, back to you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Actually, we have a few very interesting questions, so I would like to ask you to stick a little bit more with us to try to answer them. So first question is, how do you see the world in 20 years from now, and when we will be able to say that the digital transformation is over?
20 years from now, that is a very interesting question, and I think there are other people who are better from a technology perspective, better in glass bowling and thinking what will happen in the future. And 20 years is very far away. Remember, we are now in 2021. 20 years ago, we had 2001. We just survived the millennium bug. The internet just started to be a kind of normal, but we didn't have smartphones, for example. So it's really hard to say what will happen in 20 years. And then referring to your second question, a digital transformation is not a motion which most likely will have an end, because technology is developing further and further and further. Digital transformation is a process to leverage the new technologies, and therefore digital transformation needs building of new skills, needs more or less the lifelong learning concept. So every day you should learn something new, and therefore it's so critical to embed a learning culture in your organization and give the freedom to every person in the organization to take the time to investigate new things. In principle, every Microsoftie has to do 4 hours of learning per week. And typically, and I am doing every Friday afternoon, I'm blocking my agenda and try to really learn something new or reflect on what I had learned. Another example is, for example, you. Semos Education, as part of the Leading Learning Partners Association, they are currently in a whole internal readiness motion, really to understand themselves. What can you do with cloud service, where it's heading to? And they are learning, Svetlana is learning, and Alexander is learning to help you guys, the customer, to support them on that journey. So digital transformation has not really an end station. And as I said, with the feedback loops, it's an ongoing process where the vision will evolve.
Thank you, Wilfried. We also have one really interesting question that is actually two questions, but I will merge them into one because they are really similar. So do you think that current pandemic accelerated cloud adoption in small companies? And what do you think how the current pandemic will affect remote working after pandemic is hopefully over?
That are very strategic and visionary questions, but yes, I think digital transformation did really accelerate the need of moving to the cloud and moving with digital transformation. In my presentation, I mentioned that this weekend here in the kitchen, and that's only 3 meters from here, a 5-star cook was sharing via Teams his 4-course dinner. That's something you would never have experienced before. Here in the Netherlands, not the Prime Minister, but the Vice Prime Minister was diagnosed with COVID today. And as of today, also the whole government of the Netherlands is going digitally and will have virtual meetings instead of face-to-face meetings. So you see that in every layer, in every organization, things have changed dramatically. If this remote society will remain, I don't think so, but research has shown, for example, that in certain industries, like the financial industry, 40 to 50% of the employees actually prefer to have more flexible working hours and maybe first take some calls at home, do their email, then driving to the office. I don't know how Belgrade is, but in the Netherlands, it's pretty packed and there are a lot of traffic jams between 7:30 and 8:30. Rather spend some time there, then have a breakfast with your family, then go into the office so that you're not standing in traffic jams. Also from a training perspective, and I can bounce the question actually back, but my personal experience will be that where in the past, face-to-face instructor-led training, classroom training, 5 days in a row sitting in a classroom, there will still be people who want to have 4 days or 5 days in a classroom, but you see that there are all kinds of new developments of the training organizations to deliver hybrid solutions, where there is a component of self-study and then a checkup with the trainer, or doing a 5-day training in 3 weeks, enabling also a more remote behavior of the customers, because it's difficult to sit 8 to 10 hours behind the screen. And you can split up also the training in chunks of 2 hours and 3 hours a day and learn the same. So the pandemic did accelerate it, and we will have new business models. We will work more from home. There are many negatives on the pandemic, but there are also some positive things coming out of the pandemic, where we reset our button. Why should we stand in a traffic jam for an hour, which also from a environmental climate perspective is not the best solution for the future.
I agree completely. We also have one interesting question. our participant asked, so can you advise us, I suppose a company, on how to do the best assessment in a company to set the clear goals for digital transformation before we kickstart the process? So actually the question is where to start.
It's a kind of the process which I described on one of the slides. First, think about the vision, and then from how are you implementing, what is the next steps. Now, I can imagine that you're sitting here as a customer and think, oh boy, what to do. It's very good actually to have a few people in your organization take, for example, a fundamentals training. It's not only Azure fundamentals, but there's also Power Platform fundamentals, which actually I did 3 weeks ago in the learning days, to understand what the possibilities are. Talk with your account manager at Microsoft. They have also clear view. Talk with the Azure technical people at the subsidiary, if you have one, but also you guys as a training organization, you are training, so you really understand what's happening. So also Semos Education, I'm pretty sure that if you as a customer wants to validate or confirm certain ideas, that Semos Education is eager and happy to help you also start working on that journey and start also identifying skills gaps to make together with you as a customer a kind of a skills journey for the next 12 to 18 months. There are all kinds of Microsoft partners who have experts to not let you alone in your digital transformation, but again, go a little bit deeper, maybe not as a consultant, but as an advisor. Share best practices. I presume you will show some best practices later today as well. And also Microsoft has very interesting webinars on a very regular basis where they share best practices on the ideas. So there are a lot of resources which you can leverage creating that vision. And maybe for a customer, create a small team, a virtual team these days, where you put all kinds of smart brains, go to Semos Education for a few fundamentals training, understand the concepts, then move into your on a mountain and have some brainstorm sessions and get back and maybe double check with your Microsoft account manager or with Semos, is this a realistic picture, and then moving forward.
Thank you, Wilfried, for inspiring presentation and for the great answers. I want to thank you from the side of our participants and also from the Semos Education for being together and for being today here with us. So we really hope to see you in person.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Actually, I was in person there. It was one of my last travels last year, just before the pandemic, when we had the first C3 event. I'm still here online for the next 15 minutes or so, so feel free to ask more questions in the IM window if you have, or reach out to Alexander or Svetlana. If you have any questions, they can forward that to me and can help you as well. Thank you again. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.